45 days to election 2020. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. Celebrating 25 years of bold and fearless journalism, this bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle. Is a digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country, including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Max in Takrady, and A1 Radio in Bolgatanga. Around the world, we're live at myjoyonline.com. In this edition, NADMO officials intensify rescue mission at Achimba-Tebi, where a 6-story building collapsed. They are now deploying sniffer dogs as the death toll rises to 22.
We're going to search everywhere until the last body or the last person has been found. We have stopped the use of machines and we have introduced sniffer dogs.
We have more as officials say they are not to blame for the loss of lives. We'll get you the latest update. Now, police closing on suspected assailants in recent Kumasi shootings that led to the death of about 8 persons.
And we have got enough evidence about those who committed those crimes. And we are on them. And hopefully soon you hear from us.
Family of one of missing Takrady girls rejects results of state-sponsored forensic tests, which revealed human bones that were retrieved during investigations almost perfectly match the samples of family members of the girls.
They are doing what possible best to end this, but we are so praying to God. We know that our girls are alive, and one day they will surely come home.
We'll hear from a sister of one of the missing girls. In sports,
we'll hear from Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta as he sings the praise of midfielder Thomas Partey following a stellar performance in the Europa League last night.
And also in this bulletin,
we want to see how much the MPs especially will come to our aid in terms of getting us a resource center.
We want the MP who can promise and buy the cross hands and the motorbikes for them.
Votes cast, panelists ready, all is set for the Joy ballot box as the electorates engage with their parliamentary aspirants at the Boko Community Center. Showdown tonight. There's and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. Thanks for choosing the Discerning Radio. And the National Disaster Management Organization is this afternoon intensifying efforts to find persons who may still be trapped in the rubble of a 6-story building that collapsed at Achimba-Tebi in the eastern region. Sniffer dogs have been deployed at the site with death toll currently standing at 22. The building used for church services by the Church of Prosperity collapsed on Tuesday afternoon, leaving persons trapped. Now, there's more in the following news desk report.
A member of the Church of Prosperity at Achimba-Tebi in tears while showing appreciation to her maker for saving her life. Together with other members, they were worshipping when the 6-story building, said to have been under construction for more than 25 years, collapsed on Tuesday, trapping many.
We heard the rumbling when the building started collapsing. Because of the dust, we could not see much of what was happening. The foundation of the building started cracking. It got us so scared, so we started running. I managed to move away from where I was standing. Immediately, the place I was standing also collapsed.
The structure is said to belong to Pastor Akwa Isaac, who has since been invited by the police.
Prophet Akwa Isaac has been arrested by the police. Statements obtained from him, and he was released subsequently on a police inquiry bail.
The National Disaster Management Organization, the National Fire Service, and the military, as well as the BNI, were dispatched to the site on a rescue mission. The team initially rescued some 7 persons who were immediately sent for medical treatment.
Able to rescue 7 people who were alive. All of them were sent to the Odan Government Hospital.
But hopes of rescuing many more alive were dashed as the death toll rises with each passing day. From an initial 6, the number of deaths hit 22 within 72 hours as more equipment were brought in. Eastern Regional Minister Eric Kwachidafo vowed to ensure the rescue effort ends only when everyone is accounted for.
We want to remove every debris and be sure that nobody is under the debris, whether live or dead.
This development has brought to the fore, yet again, the need for assemblies to assess structures to determine whether or not they should be pulled down. Samson Deklu is an architect.
It means the wrong thing was done on the part of the occupant, and the fact that the inspectorate didn't also ensure that the right thing was done. So moving forward, we will ask the Building Inspector Division to ensure that such buildings, because we have a lot of them in the system, because without this, we'll be having similar incidences.
Joy News has learned the Geological Survey Department had raised concerns about the structural integrity of the building. The National Building Regulations, LI 1630, empowers assemblies to subject building materials to a test to determine whether they are appropriate. It's not clear at this stage whether or not the over 25-year-old structure was subjected to this test. The DCE for Asinimanso Akroso says he's yet to ascertain whether or not a permit was obtained for the construction.
We are yet to ascertain whether after the time they began the structure, they obtained permit from the assembly. Within the last 2 years that I was appointed the district chief executive, I have not seen any construction going on until this incident happened 3 days ago.
But the question on the lips of many is, with 22 lives claimed through what some may say is an act of negligence, who will be held responsible for these unnecessary loss of lives? And what becomes of the district assembly that failed to carry out the required checks to avert this disaster?
Now, the NADMO Director of Inspectorate, Richard Amolate, says they're doing their best to account for all persons who were in the church.
We have stopped the use of machines and we have introduced Emefa dogs to sniff around to see if there could be traces of anybody. So like I said, we are committed to recovering everybody and saving every life. We will continue with this exercise until we are absolutely certain that there is nothing to look for. So we are still working, and when it comes to the identification of the persons we have found, the police is handling that. We have recovered bodies. They've been sent to Adan Government Hospital. They've been confirmed dead. Those who want to identify relatives have to contact the Ghana Police Service.
NASA Richard Amolate is in charge of Inspectorate at NADMO. From the Eastern region, let's head to the Ashanti region, where Police Command says it is closing in on suspects of 2 separate shooting incidents in Kumasi within this week. The first incident on Monday involved a man in his late 30s who was shot dead in a friend's home after being robbed of money on him. A day later, a Chinese national was shot in the arm by an unknown assailant, causing panic among the residents of Ahojo in Kumasi. Now, Regional Police Commander COP Kwesi Mensa Duku says the suspected assailant will be arrested in no time. He spoke on the sidelines of a security route march in the Kumasi metropolis.
A very serious view about what is happening, and we started with an investigations, and we have gone far. And hopefully, I believe that in the next couple of weeks ahead of us, we'll be able to get those who have been committing those crimes in Kumasi. We have enough evidence, some suspects. But I cannot disclose the identity now, but just want to assure you that we are very firm and strong on the ground, and very soon you'll hear from us.
Are we talking about specific issues or incidents, or all of them in general?
No, but you just mentioned, I'm talking about the recent incident, and those who committed those incidents. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
So the recent 2?
Yes, and we have got enough evidence about those who committed those crimes.
Now the Ashanti Regional Police Commander COP Kwesi Mensa Duku. Now the chairman of the Ashanti Regional Security Council and Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensa is encouraging residents to volunteer information to the police to help deal with crime.
The criminals are with us. They live with us and they live among us. When you have any information, please don't hesitate to volunteer the information to us, and we will give you maximum protection. And whatever information you give to us will be kept as secret as possible. It will not be divulged. But as I've always made an appeal, when you volunteer information to us, please keep quiet. Don't go around and be telling people, COP, Duko, do know this or say Mensa, this two know no say Mensa.
That's the Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Asay-Mensah. Time to get into the election headquarters, and with just 45 days to election 2020, Ghana's porous borders are attracting international eyeballs as concerns rise over the proliferation of firearms in the country. Head of United Nations West African Office, Mohammed Ibn Chambers, is calling for stricter security at the country's borders to prevent gun violence on election day. Earlier this month, the Customs Division of the GRA intercepted some 436 pistols and 26 packs of ammunition which had been imported into the country without the necessary documentation. Now, while investigations are still ongoing, Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers is charging government to strengthen security at the border to prevent the spillover of terrorist activities within the sub-region.
We need to strengthen security at the borders to ensure that small arms used in conflicts are not recycled here during the election period. This will also put a curb on the smuggling of small arms and light weapons into the country. The northern axis is especially very important because of the situation that we find in the Sahel with the threat of violent extremists and terrorist groups. So particular attention needs to be paid in our northern frontiers. Small arms and light weapons are judged as the most immediate security challenge in West Africa. Fueling civil wars, organized criminal violence, insurgency and terrorist activities, posing great obstacles to sustainable security, peace and development. Call on all of us to work at maintaining peace before, during and after the elections, since elections generally stoke the flames of passion, and this makes people very sensitive to electoral outcomes.
You heard that Dr. Ibn Chambers speaking at the launch of the Ballot Without Bullets campaign, where the National Small Arms Commission and Light Weapons reviewed that over 4,098 areas have been identified as hotspots prone to violence in the 2020 polls, with the Ashanti region top of the list with 635 flashpoints. Now, this revelation is, however, being questioned by the major political parties. Listen to the Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NDC, Kwame Zu, alleging it is only to intimidate NDC supporters in these areas.
These are peace-loving people that until recently in areas like Sacheafam Place has never been known to be a flashpoint. But there has been some deliberate attempt to create an air of confusion around the area to be a reason for deployment of military and the police to that area. And that modus has long been established in other regions that are seen to be strongholds of the NDC, to be a tool that the government, to a large extent, is exploiting to intimidate the people and subsequently suppress votes.
But in a sharp response, the Ashanti Regional MPP Secretary Sampine says the over 600 areas identified may have been exaggerated, but insists government is not seeking to suppress votes in the NDC strongholds.
When we look at issues, and I simply don't want to go to certain propaganda as Kwame is doing by linking it to means to suppress some people from voting. The basis of this report, and according to some report I also read, is that they looked at what transpired during the registration exercise. In the whole of the Ashanti region, the registration exercise that ended, you couldn't count more than 30 places where we had incidents of maybe people preventing others from voting. That doesn't constitute flashpoints.
That's the Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NPP, Sampine there. Now, my colleague, Manuel Cranting, has a copy, secured an exclusive copy of that letter which contains a list of the flashpoints. Manuel, what does the letter say? Give us details.
So, Emefa, the letter, which is dated 20th August 2020, is signed by one Moses Jan Mpete ASP for the Director General of the Police Service, and it's addressed to the Executive Secretary, National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapon. I'll read portions of it, which says that the attached document containing a list of areas and constituencies identified as hotspots or flashpoints in the upcoming 2020 general elections for your information and necessary action. The Ashanti region tops the list with 635 hotspots, with Offenso North constituency leading with 56 hotspots. Asawasi follows closely with 53, and Ifiduase Asokore also 53. The Northeast region is actually the region with the least of flashpoint with 60 at the bottom there, Emefa.
Well, I would have loved to hear about the Upper East region where we are going tonight. We are with constituents of Zebila, Boko and Garu, and they will get the opportunity to face their MPs and aspiring legislators as the Joy ballot box kicks off at the Boko Community Center later tonight. So over 800 people have already cast their votes in the exercise, which will determine the agenda for the live engagement between constituents and their duty bearers. Ahead of the program, regional correspondent Albert Sori traces the political history of the Boko Central constituency.
The Boko Central constituency is located in the eastern part of the Upper East region under the Boko municipality. It has a total population of approximately 120,000 people and is one of the constituencies represented in the Parliament of Ghana. Prior to the 2004 parliamentary election, the Pusiga constituency was carved out of the pre-existing Boko Central constituency in what was then known as the Boko East District. The current constituency is therefore smaller in area than the one that preceded the 2004 election. Between the years 1992 and 2016, the Boko Central constituency has elected their members of parliament first from an independent candidate and then interchangeably from the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress.
Let me take you live now to the Upper East region where the deputy head of Joy News political desk, Winston Ngamwa, who will be hosting the live ballot box interaction at 5 p.m. tonight, joins us with more. So what are listeners and viewers expecting, Winston?
Well, I'm afraid they should expect all the best. They should expect, the 6 panelists addressing all the concerns that their constituents have. We have been here, we've spoken to the electors. They've actually cast their ballot. They've told us that the roads are one of the issues that they'll be looking forward to when it comes to the choices they make on December 7th. They've complained about the economy. They've talked about education. They've talked about employment. They've talked about security. We are now about to hear from the aspirants. 6 of them, Mahama Gagabiana Abugi, for the Boko Central constituency. Mahama represents the NDC. Gabiana represents the NPP. Kretos Avokat in the Zebila constituency representing the NDC. And Frank Fuseni Adonko representing the NPP. And in the Garo constituency, Osman Musa represents the NPP. And Albert Alazuga represents the NDC.
You want to join Winston Ngamwa and the team at 5 p.m. with the Joy Ballot Box. It will be on radio, on TV, and online. Now, President Akufo-Addo has ended his 2-day tour of the Oti region with a call on residents there to consider his works in his first term and give him the NPP 4 years in government, 4 more years, I should say. Now, correspondent Peter Senu was with the president. Here's a wrap of events.
The 2-day working visit by the president to the region saw him visit the Biakuye, Bwem, Nkwanta South and North and the Krachi West constituencies with a regional rally at Dambai in the Krachi East constituency. The president, while in the region, inspected ongoing 56.4 Jasika and Odopepesu road construction, Nkunya Kwame Krum road construction, Paza Town roads and 15 kilometers Ketekrachi Town roads. The president, while at Ketekrachi, assured the residents of government's commitment to construct a bridge on River Oti to reduce travel time and link the peninsular town to urban centers. The president equally used the visit to the region to solicit for votes, which would give his government and party another term in office. The president was received at a mammoth rally in Dambai, the regional capital, where he called on supporters to continue to have faith in the party and also reiterated his call on the people in the region who have for the past political years lent their support to the NDC.
That's my colleague Peter Seno reporting from the Oti region now to the camp of the NDC now, where the former president John Dramani Mahama has reiterated his commitment to resurrect the Achiabo Freeport project if the NDC wins the December 7 general elections. He's also wrapping up his tour of the Western region. He's been addressing the chiefs and people of Nkrofo.
And you might be brave or one Kayadeba. And no Nanaka, Achiabo Freeport. Yani loan for a agreement. Say on Baba baby port wɔ ha. Sɛ na ɛbɛyɛ a oil companies no ɛhɔ na obiara bɛba bɛyɛ n'adwuma. Yɛkɔhwɛ yɛ a yɛn nuanom MPP foɔ ɛna wɔn de loan roll agreement no kɔɔ court. Sɛ wɔn mpene ɛmma saa adwuma no ɛmma so. Ɛnso anka saa port no baeɛ a anka yɛ mmabu no bebree a wɔn gyina ha yi anka wɔn nso bɛnyɛ adwuma ayɛ wɔ saa port no. Ɛnso mewɔ gyidi sɛ yɛ free port no ɛbɛba so.
Former President John Mahama speaking on the Atuabo Freeport project. We'll stay here at the election headquarters, and this time independent presidential aspirant Alfred Kwame Asiedu Walker is promising to get every region helicopters which will serve as emergency health responders if voted into power. But how is he going to fund this project? Listen to him.
That policy is what we have said, the regionalization policy, which is the headlines of our governance. Every region is going to have a helicopter, emergency responders who will immediately respond to the site. We are going to have trauma sort of centers strategically placed where helicopters, or we call it trauma hawks, or emergency responded issues, or helicopter nurses, well-equipped, and doctors who are able to respond to those emergencies, to be airlifted to those trauma centers. Maybe, for a change, Ghana will be on the right foot for what we need done. Somebody might ask me, how are we going to fund all these issues? I think I've said it. I am not going to take salary.
Independent presidential candidate, Mr. Walker. And this is the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top stories: NADMO officials intensify rescue mission at Achimba-Tebi, where a 6-story building collapsed. They are now deploying sniffer dogs as the death toll rises to 22. Police have also stated in the Ashanti region that they are closing in on suspected assailants in recent Kumasi shootings that led to the death of about 8 persons. When we return from the break, we have sports, and then also family of one of missing Takrady girls rejects results of state-sponsored forensic test which revealed human bones that were retrieved during investigations almost perfectly match the samples of family members of the girls.
They are doing what possible best to end this, but we are so praying to God. We know that our girls are alive, and one day they will surely come home.
Many people have lost their jobs since 2017. The next NDC government, led by John Mahama and Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, will work hard to provide jobs for all. Here is our plan. Under our Ejumapa policy, we will create a minimum of 250,000 decent and sustainable jobs every year. That's a minimum of 1 million permanent and well-paying jobs. Jumapa, in 4 years in the financial services sector, such as banking and insurance, construction, agriculture and agribusiness, ICT, oil and gas, pharmaceuticals, tourism, tree crops, waste management and sanitation, and coastal landscape and forest management, among others. Those who also want to learn a craft will be enrolled under the NDC's state-sponsored National Apprenticeship Program. We will also give them the tools kit needed to start their businesses upon completion of their apprenticeship. NAPCO beneficiaries will also be made permanent public sector workers. This is our plan for jobs. Vote John Mahama. Vote NDC.
58, 70. Hey, Charlie. My network is really killing me. I have to pay my uncle's workers via mobile money, but the charges alone, it's about 380 cedis. Charges alone just to send money? That's $10 of cement already, my guy. Listen, bro, you can save money on charges if you move to Vodafone Cash now. Vodafone Cash? But my network is... Hey, sending money on that your network, you pay. Sending money on your network to other networks, you pay. But guess what? Sending money on Vodafone Cash is free. Sending money on Vodafone Cash to all other networks is also absolutely free. No charges at all on Vodafone Cash. So tell me, what are you still doing on that your network? Massa, look sharp, then move to Vodafone Cash. Hey, make a change the SIM right now. Yes, sending money on Vodafone Cash to all other networks is now absolutely free. Send unlimited amount of money as many times as you like for free. Just dial *110# now to send money.
The future is exciting. Ready?
2020, yes, woman now. 2020.
fellow Ghanaians. Through planting for food and jobs, food is available and prices are relatively cheaper for us all. Farmers can dream of a better future for themselves and their families. This December, remember your vote will make a difference in the life of a farmer and make food affordable for you and us all. Let's protect our progress. Vote NPP. Vote Nana Akufo-Addo for 4 more years to do more for you.
This is radio for the discerning listeners. Joy 99.7 FM. Let's do sports now.
Emefa Thomas Partey seems to be giving Arsenal huge returns on that £45.3 million they paid for his services. Massive performance in midfield for Arsenal as they won 2 goals to 1 in the Europa League against Rapid Vienna. And manager Mikel Arteta has been singing the praise of the midfielder. There is more in the following report by my colleague Haruna Mubarak.
It was the performance of the £45 million deadline day signing Thomas Partey that stood out as he won the man of the match after finishing the contest with high ratings. The 27-year-old was a calm presence in midfield, breaking down attacks and building play with effortless ease. The former Atletico Madrid man recorded 92 passes in the game, giving him a percentage of 90. Mikel Arteta labeled his performance as exceptional.
I thought he was exceptional. I think he controlled and dominated the game. He looked like he's been here for much longer. He gave us the pause, he gave us the control, and he gave us as well the opportunity to break and have overloads and situations in areas that we wanted to create, and I thought he was really good tonight.
Partey will be hoping to make his first start in the English Premier League as Arsenal take on Leicester City at the Emirates.
So Thomas Partey there again in high praise from manager Mikel Arteta, and we are building up to a huge weekend. There's Manchester United versus Chelsea in the Premier League.
We look forward to that, Hans. Thank you very much and enjoy your weekend. Now, family of one of the missing Takoradi girls has rejected results of state-sponsored forensic test which revealed human bones that were retrieved during investigations almost perfectly match the samples of family members of the 3 missing girls. Now, Dr. Kofi Ejapong Efifa, who was part of a team that conducted the DNA test on the skeletal remains that were retrieved from a septic tank at Kansarodo near Takoradi, was in court Thursday as the 17th prosecution witness in the case. Now, George Esiful Ansa is lawyer for the first accused person, Samuel Udotek Rolls, and he also cast doubt on the test results.
But there was also of the view that the DNA, if you are an expert of DNA, you must be able also to determine some of these things. Because if you are able to determine that this is the person, using the skull of the skull to determine that this is the person you are looking for. So definitely it is also appropriate that you must be able to tell the youth.
Meanwhile, Nana Ajua Kwesen, the sister of Ruth Love Kwesen, says her family still believes their daughter is alive. She spoke to Bernice Abubedu Lansa on News Desk earlier today.
So we requested for our own private DNA. We were not given that opportunity. So I'm not surprised on what they are saying. They've already determined and made their mind to close the case or end this issue. So they are doing what possible best to end this. But we are still praying to God. We know that our girls are alive and one day they will surely come home.
So, has the family given up on your independent DNA test?
Of course. When we asked in the initial stage, we were not given the opportunity. So, it's like me to say to you and you are preparing some food, and I asked you to give me the food. You never gave me, but when I went back home, you are now bringing the food to me for me to take it. Do I know what is putting it in the food? So, for now, if they give us the samples, we will not conduct any DNA test.
Do you still hold on to that view that your sister is still alive?
Of course. We know that they are still alive because we have a strong feeling and we're having a dream about them. So we know that they are still alive.
Nana Ajua Kwesen, a sister of Ruth Love Kwesen, one of the 4 missing Takoradi girls. We head to Parliament now, where the Minister for Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, is expected to present the budget for the first quarter of 2020 to Ghana's Parliament on Wednesday, October 28. Majority Leader and Chairman of the Parliament's Business Committee, Osechi Mensah-Bonsu, has been given details, and we're told the House was almost empty this morning. My colleague, Kweku Asante, will give us details subsequently. Let's do entertainment now, and of course, what people are talking about on social media. media. Mapitso, bring us up to date on that.
All right, so people are talking about President Buhari's speech. At Amanda Joseph says, what pains me highest in Buhari's speech is that 2023 is too far. And at Torila says, Buhari giving a lifeless speech yesterday, and the hopelessness coupled with coping humor that ensured that the renewed hope I see today, I got a brain shift. And this one is from Stax Sock, who says Buhari's statement summarized, nothing happened at Lekki. Foreigners, face your front. If they born you well, come out and protest again.
Thank you very much, Mapitso. At 1, we have business. Charles, what are we to expect?
Ghana recorded $785 million foreign direct inflows in first half of this year despite the impact of COVID-19 plus more at 1.
That's it for the midday news. Our top stories: NADMO officials intensify rescue mission at Achimba Tebi, where a 6-story building collapsed. They are now deploying sniffer dogs as the death toll rises to 22. And there's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Thanks so much for your company. After the break, whatever it is that you're going through, place it in the hands of Jesus. That's coming up on Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil.
When you want